map for the one here.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Karazim just flew under the radar a bit, but was insanely well played, and the one once again proving why they are currently in 3rd place.
Also, good luck trying to Divine Palm a Genji that is just flying across the battlefield. It's so hard.
But he manages it. He manages it. Like, that was one of the most mobile teams I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And they were all just dancing around doing what they needed to. As we load into Sky Temple and the draft of BTG taking the first ban.
Alright, so twice in a row we see first pick coming in for Beyond the Game. Sky Temple, I think that was a flawless win record by the one.
It was 50% for BTG, 100 for the one.
Looks like Uther is going to be the first ban, but this time around Beyond the Game has first pick again, and this time around I don't think they're going to ignore both Shimadas anymore. And if they do, well, they better have a good plan prepared, because last time that didn't work out.
Yeah, they have had issues when they haven't been prepared for the Shimadas from previously, but it looks like they might let it through again, honestly. They're hovering Uther.
Which is fine if you pick one of them.
I mean, yeah, they should pick one. Like, Uther was fine last time, but it was not enough.
The thing is, if you're banning Uther, you're basically telling... I mean, you're giving... Okay, I was going to say, okay, because if you banned Uther, then you basically tell to the enemy team, hey, you know what, we're not going to play Genji because Genji Uther is really solid. Why should we shoot ourselves in the foot? So I think the Hanzo would have probably been the first pick if it hadn't been banned this time.
So now the one, they have only ever once banned Genji. So this, I would argue, would be the second time for them to do it if they were to do so.
Yeah, could be a good choice. Could be a good choice indeed, unless they know more than we do about Beyond the Game, and maybe they've had practice games, scrims against their opponents before, and maybe they remembered that Beyond the Game doesn't really play a lot of Genji. Can you maybe pull up the statistics here to see
Yes, I can.
how often Beyond the Game relied on him?
They've banned Genji twice, they have played Genji twice, and they have lost both times.
Yeah, see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. If a team doesn't play Genji a lot, and if they do play him a lot and they lose, then there's no reason to ban it at all, because the one can go into this now very comfortably.
And there it is. There is the Genji. BTG
third time's the charm, man.
End a 0% win rate on this hero.
Yeah, third time's the charm. Maybe they can pull it off this time. But here goes the immediate response. Divine Shield taken away and Greymane secured.
It's such confidence coming in from the one here, though. It's like giving someone the option between a bicycle and a car, and the one saying, "You know what? You take the car because I know you can't drive yet. You don't know. I know you haven't had driving lessons. We'll just take the bike."
Or your name is Kintaro Ue and you outrace anyone on your bike, and anime fans will know that reference. I hope there's one person in the chat that will get the reference.
I know it's
not
Speed Racer, so I can't help you there, because I don't have the car. But here's the Demon on Wheels.
Alright, what is Beyond the Game going to add to the Genji that so far hasn't really been netting them good results? Supports in particular are going to be very interesting to see, and it's really like it's become a common pattern for Chinese teams to take one of the cleanses, one of the most predominant cleanses, I should say, Uther or Rehgar, and then ban away the other one. And here goes the Lucio.
Lucio is very nice for him. He is, used to be at the start of the season the #1 support, and then dropped off a bit, and now he's back. So no cleanse to start off with, which gives the one the option to move into something a little bit more CC heavy.
Definitely true. CC heavy, or CC in general, is very important, especially if you have Uther in the mix. Oftentimes you will see Uther players who have really good timing on the Hammer of Judgment, but since it's basically a mini stun, not even going for a full second, you oftentimes can't really make it happen if you don't have any follow-up CC. That's why heroes like Muradin, that's why heroes like Stitches are so good if combined with the Uther, after all.
And there is another hero who is very good when combined with the Uther, who has CC and is a little bit of a specialty of the one, the Illidan. On this map, split push hunt Illidan can get some crazy value.
You know what? I love it. I think you can definitely go Illidan here. As you said, it's one of the
like
Best
Illidan
maps to get global
Arthas,
value from.
Like pick Arthas for yourself, so the enemy can't pick it because they still could.
You know what? You could even go Illidan Abathur and then go main tank.
Well, you could pick Abathur last. I mean,
Yeah, for
be
sure,
stolen, but it's a little less likely.
No, you go tank now in Illidan maybe, and then Abathur last pick.
I would agree. Or even just tank Abathur. Like Arthas Abathur now, because Arthas and Abathur is already an amazing combo.
Very true.
You get the clones for Illidan or Greymane, which is crazy good. You remove the #1 counter.
Yeah.
The issue is you're a little bit low on CC for ETC.
Yeah, that is true. But if you're the ones initiating the team fights, normally ETC struggle a little bit to pull off a defensive mosh pit because it's really hard to hit everybody, especially Illidan is all over the place. Greymane can be very mobile as well. But it looks like they're not going the Illidan route. They're not fully committing to the face playstyle. They go for Falstad, which is a global after all.
It is a global, and Leoric is going to be Hugo's hero, so we're not going to see that Illidan, and that would have required Leoric to be solo tank, which is unlikely. They're not going to happen, but it does mean they can flex their tank now. They can work out what they want to do with it, because we still don't know what the rest of the damage for BTG is, so this gives them the option to maybe go a Nubrak if there's more spell damage, or Arthas if there's more auto damage. Or Muradin if it's in between.
I mean, even if... I mean, Fawcett already is such a good pick, though. The globals are nice. The Mighty Gust still one of the primary counters to any mosh pit attempts, which actually the reason why it wouldn't surprise me to see stage dive, but with the Dahaka in the mix, you already have your dedicated globals, so stage dive all of a sudden not really that needed anymore. Could still happen, though.
Fnatic proved to us at the end of 2016 and early 2017 that there is no such thing as too much global. So
yes, very true.
We will have to see if it is going to be the stage dive in the end anyway, because once again, the one, outside of that Mighty Gust and a very lucky Uther, there are no interrupts. Now they have some interrupts. They have their second tank. The Anub'arak is interesting against the Tychus, but is going to have a bit more of an easier time against the Odin than a Arthas, for example, would, and once again, Arthas would just get shredded as same way that Anub'arak would by that minigun.
And most importantly, you now have one of the strongest counters to our Dragon Blade. Once Genji goes all crazy, amped up, and really excited, you just pop a cocoon and you cool him down the brutal way, and you waste a lot of the duration of the Dragon Blade.
So, as we see the final parts of the draft, the ones looks very solid, but the global potential is very scary from BTG.
Very true.
I think a map-based play, avoiding team fights until a little bit later, could be their big victory here. Because Falstad, he has global, but it's a little bit shorter range and a little bit less efficient, I would argue, than someone like the Haka.
Did you see the one man in the crowd just chilling?
No. Because
sometimes you see the reflections there in the glass of the player booth, and that one dude just had a really good time enjoying esports very comfortably, let's put it this way.
Fair enough, fair enough. As we wait for the beginning of the game on Sky Temple. We don't see Sky Temple too often in China, and we definitely don't see Volskaya, as we're still yet to see it.
I think the main reason why Sky Temple is rather rare in China is because it's such a macro-heavy map. You don't really go for team fights all the time because oftentimes teams are forced to wait until the temples spawn, until they get activated. And, you know, Chinese teams, most of them, they're not known to be very patient teams.
And this is good news because the dramatic game-beginning music has begun, so they don't have to be patient anymore. As ladies and gentlemen, we are heading into game number 2 of BTG versus TheOne. And on the left, it is going to be BTG Beyond the Game of Heroes of the Storm, as it says in small text under their name. We have Druid playing the Lucio, 619 on ETC, ZJZ on Dahaka, LLK on Tychus, and Dancing is on Genji.
And their opponents putting up a good show in game number 1. Can they do it again? It is TheOne, featuring Hugo on that Leoric. We've got Lucky on Falstad. Meng plays Greymane this time around. Zato on Uther. And Hehe on Anub'arak. By the way, that was one of my personal highlights last year when you did the Michael Jackson spontaneous move on the Hehe. I'm basically waiting for it. I'm waiting for it for you to bust it out again. It needs to come out spontaneously, though. I understand.
Exactly, exactly. And also, you had the team intro this time. It was like, I think I only did 2, right? It was like Michael Jackson and then just the Master Roshi.
Yes, I think so.
Alright, but for now, we have very little aggression from either of the teams. I think we saw a little bit of tower damage done in the top lane. No, actually. So what were they doing up there? Just having a little nap.
Yeah.
But yeah, we saw neither teams going hugely aggressive. Now some aggression onto Lee
Oh,
Yorick.
wait a minute.
Turns around and
Wait, what?
dies. But Tychus is really out of position now. Oh, the dash to dodge the burrow charge. And now Zado's out of position. This is a disaster. Zado's getting chased down, nowhere to go. And that's going to be 2 kills in the first minute for BTG.
I think that was a misclick by Hugo because he was basically safe already. All he had to do was go in a straight line on the Wraithrock, but I think he was actually expecting Uther to arrive and drop some heals on him as well, but unfortunately Uther also ended up dying there in the process, and beyond the game, they're just on a roll right now. Hugo is back to life only to die again. The Leorki status has been initiated.
They have more kills, and they have almost triple as many kills as there are minutes in this game right now, and they're still going. They nearly got lucky as well. Dancing and Lucky having a crazy duel in this bot lane too.
All right, but the mercenary camp was secured after all in favor of the one, and for them it's really just all about stabilizing right now. You know, if you die that often in Heroes of the Storm early on, it matters kind of, but it also not really losing you the game. So calm down, you know, rest your nerves, and just reset basically, reboot.
Yeah, give time for the game clock to catch up to the kill count, and then we can prepare to go back in again. As both teams taking mercenary camps, Siege Giants in exchange for Bruiser camps. CJZ is forced to retreat with 3 members pushing in, and one of them being Greymane. This does force the reaction of BTG. They can't afford to take their own camp. They need to spend some time clearing up the ones.
And in the meantime, it was Lucio sitting all alone in the middle lane, and when your support is the solo laner, especially if he doesn't have any form of wave clear whatsoever, like Lucio, something isn't going ideally well.
Nothing is sadder than trying to clear a lane as Lucio.
Oh, yes. I've been there, done that.
You have to mute yourself by microing.
But we're going to have voice chat soon, so all the lonely Lucio players who find themselves laning and wave clearing can use that to let their teammates know better.
Exactly. Just like, guys, you do realize like my auto attacks do like 20 damage each. It's not much. I need help. But yeah, we see Dancing once again able to escape here, as the full level lead for BTG isn't going to net them any talent advantages by the time this first objective spawns.
Yeah. By the way, Falset going for the trusty old Season Marksman auto attack build, which is the more sustainy route. Whereas if you go hammering, then you're going to have a lot of burst damage, but nothing in between the cooldowns.
The battle over the middle point and over the top point as Falstad and Uther have made their way up there, and Dahaka is currently left on his own, but Uther has abandoned his team and come down to the mid lane because it looks like this is the one they want to fight over. So much so that Lee Yorick himself is even coming up.
This is the one wants to fight over. I see what you did there.
As Meng trades out a little bit of cocktail damage, but BTG still holding the point. And they're approaching a talent lead, the one of running out of time to make the play.
They're really running out of time. I'm not even sure why they're still committing to this temple in the middle. Hehe now in trouble. Unfortunately for Beyond the Game, there was no ETC lockdown available anymore. But yeah, I think they wasted a little bit of time because Falsen was already holding the top temple like a champion. So, you know, I think... Okay, never mind. That could be a gank now in ZJC. That could be huge, but the essence is being used. Sail field commenced.
Towers. Oh, nice dodge. Easy.
Okay. Now there's a couple of shots left in that top temple, and with that talent lead and the earlier rotation, Beyond the Game is going to claim that for sure.
And that will take the final shots, and as such, BTG, they extend their lead. And once again, if they get a point here, that's going to be a big deal. That will tie them with Soa in terms of points.
Yeah, a tie would be so huge for both teams, basically. But of course, they want to get the win. Especially the one, if they don't want to lose track of CE, who's already, you know, won their match today. And can you imagine if there was a third seed team from China and both of those teams were basically brand new to the league last year? Beyond the Game did it in 2017. If the one made it happen now, it would be such a cool move for them. Oh, Meng was definitely spotted here, by the way. There's no way Daka didn't see it.
Yeah, and as such, Dahaka with that little speed boost, not fully stacked yet, but still he is very quick, and as such is able to retreat back to his base fire push.
Alright, Siege Shines supporting the push. How much are they going to get out of this, though?
Tried to drag max range, but was not able to, and will take a bit of harassment himself. He could really use some assistance, but it's not going to be any, as it's going to be a trade. The rest of his team are pushing at top lane with the zoning Lucio. Pushing back Falstad here.
Very nice. And also a nice little move by Hehe there, using the Beetles as a distraction for the Force to take aggro from. So when you have a new break in your team and you don't have minions nearby to tank those shots, you can still go in because those Beetles will basically take over the job as a minion. And really cool to see. So the Force were traded, top and bottom, and as such, experience is relatively closely matched as well.
Level 10, just it for both teams. Once again, a little bit quicker for BTG as they did have a advantage for a long time in this game, but as the levels get higher, that gap is going to close just a little bit as long as the one keeps soaking. You can see Isolation, the Commandeer Odin, Sound Barrier, Dragon Blade, and the Mosh Pit.
Look at Hugo on that Leoric. He does it again. He likes to do that on Illidan too. He likes to leave his opponents in the dark for a little bit, and I think Leoric is one of those heroes where you can actually surprise enemies if they don't expect the Entomb, for example, simply because March of the Black King is the more popular choice these days. But let's see. Nope, he's decided now.
Yep, locked in the March of the Black King. Very fair. The Dahaka ETC front line is going to be good, and of course, extra sustain can never be sniffed at.
Definitely true. So the first couple of shots go over to Beyond the Game, but Falstad, of course, still has Flight available, but so does Dahaka. He's got his own global, the Brushstalker, available, so this could get really heated very quickly.
I'm glad you clarified the fact that his global is a Brushstalker, because you made it sound like Dahaka has his Flight available too, and I'm just trying to imagine Dahaka trying to flap with his one arm.
That would be very scary.
His little tiny arms. Actually, he has two arms, because he's got his Heroic. In comes Leoric from the bog, but can't really get the good angle here.
Yeah, and look at Falstad in the top lane. So much pressure with that mercenary camp. I mean, they destroyed the fort prior, but looks like Falstad is not done pressuring the lane just yet. And actually, if you take a look at the XP, although Beyond the Game just channeled an entire temple through, the one actually taking over.
Yeah, it's currently exactly even on experience here, despite, like you said, BTG just killing a fort with that full
this could be a cocoon. This could be a cocoon. Never mind.
No, holding it together. His team was not fully here. Dahaka's coming in. Falstad's flying down. Now would be the time to cocoon. If Hugo can survive. No, this is a disengage. Falstad might have to just... No, he's fine.
I think CJG actually missed the isolation there. He wanted to drop it on Hugo. It didn't connect. However, Hugo still ends up falling, slowing down the advance of the enemy team. And lucky, he decided to actually not join the team fight. He wanted to do a little bit of split pushing. And as such, the one, they had to retreat for now. But that was so clutch. Hugo almost made it.
He almost made it. Falstad decided not to come down and Gus, like you said. But to be fair, as we always say, if someone has to die, it's better it's Leoric.
Yeah.
So that's the best hero that they could have lost it. But
Very
there's
true.
Still a talent behind now because of it. Not for long.
To be on, the game is capitalizing on exactly that. They really want to force the issue here with that 13 advantage. Stuns go down on 619, but the fort still stands. It still stands for another. Nobody saw that.
No one saw that.
Nothing
As we
happened.
see continuing to move forward here. Nice cocktail, continuing to stack that up. It's Greymane.
All right, Hugo dealing with that mercenary camp in the bottom, but of course with the gust now on cooldown, that fort is no-mo. Good for the one though that 13 arrived just before the temples did.
And the BTG are going to move straight in and begin on those mercenary camps again to try and get even more value, because no matter what, they're moving on to tier 2s now.
I really want to see, Tetcher, what those team fights look like the moment Lucky joins the fray. Like, up to this point, it was basically a 4 versus 5 the entire time for the one. I really want to see what a fully fledged 5 versus 5 team fight with a good gust from Tychus, from Falstad is going to achieve. Uh-oh.
Well, Dancing has found Lucky and wants to try
and prevent. Get schooled, man.
And a Stower spray on top. Dropping a spray after the kill. Nicely done. The camp is taken, but Genji bit off more than he could chew, tried to win the 1v1 and got punished for it.
Oh, that felt good, especially if you are not a fan of Genji. And we've all had those moments where we wish the ninja would finally be quiet and just stop swinging the blade. And this time the bait was perfect. It was so well done. Not even the Divine Shield was used. They calculated that so well.
Yeah, but they knew they could just lock him down with the CC, and that's exactly what they did, because then he can't escape or deflect. So nicely done by BTG, holding their lead quite nicely here. But one, with kills like that, they have a very good opportunity to put themselves in this game and keep themselves there.
It's not like Beyond the Game didn't get anything done, though, after Genji bit the dust. They still managed to get the bottom temple for the most part. I think they're actually going to channel it all the way through. The mercenary camp was distracting Hugo a little bit. So all in all, I think it's pretty much a stalemate. Like, both teams not really gaining huge advantages out of that.
Lucio dropping the boombox as level 4 talent, level 7 talent here, which is nice in team fights, but also is used very often as a nice little vision talent.
Shingun, by the way, coming in for Genji at 13. Not really what we're used to seeing anymore. Shingun, of course, dealing extra damage if all 3 shurikens hit the same target.
Which is very nice. We actually did see a little bit of a shuriken mastery combined with that yesterday as we see the move onto the Anubrak, who does get cleansed and burrows himself to freedom.
Man, Zado on that Uther, man, he's not wasting any Divine Shields today, it seems. The cleanse was enough to save Anubrak, so big kudos to him. Like, Divine Shield timing is so crucial when it comes to starting teamfights against Genji to prevent the cooldowns from resetting, so I can't give enough credit to the patience by Uther. Really well played.
He's a brave man, braver than I, as isolation is dropped onto Falstad. And they seem comfortable enough that he's just going to live as Falstad drops the damage and just kills the kill eventually.
There we go.
There we go.
And Lucio's trapped as well. Are they going to have a follow-up stun?
Lucio might be in trouble. The stun misses. Second stun follow-up hits, but that's not enough for the kill.
That's not enough, and the mercenary camp is helping. The magic reduction is huge, actually, against heroes like Genji and Tychus as well. If he uses grenades and Q, 619 in trouble. He gets taken out by the Gopher throat, and this is a dead keep.
The sound barrier does not land, and the fact is there's now 5 heroes pushing against 3 here.
4?
You have to remember, though, one of those heroes is Genji. That might be enough to dissuade the one for trying for this core call.
They still have the wizard minion, denying some of the value that Tychus Odin could have otherwise gotten. But with the fall of minions and mercenaries alike, the one will have to retreat for now. Still, good damage done on that top lane. Keep in mind that on Sky Temple, more than on any other map, structural advantage is everything. It means everything. Because right now, the one could just play it down very carefully, very safely. Just take the temple, extend their lead. They should have one... Oh, never mind. Oh, cheeky.
Very cheeky. That Siege Giant camp getting the value. And as such, BTG, they pick up another one. Because if it ain't broke. By the way, Genji went for Steady Blade on level 16. That extra Swift Strike damage.
Now let's be on the lookout here for another engage. He's already trying to go for a flank anytime soon. Leoric holding the front line, leeching up.
There's the cocoon onto Lucio, shredded very quickly, but Tychus still gets caught out. The bomb is good, but the gust cancels it out. They keep pushing forward. March to the back kick will keep Leoric alive for the moment as the drag trying to finish off Zado here, but Zado staying alive for the moment, trying to keep his team in it. But BTG are absolutely losing this fight as the one pick up yet another kill. There we go, minions.
Minions! OP. Now, that was actually such a sick timing on that burrow. Dodging the cocktail. And although Dahaka wasn't standing behind another target, I think the tiny winning damage by the initial cocktail would have been enough to kick him out of his socks. So, for now... Yeah, here we go. Hugo and his men, they're charging in. The core is taking damage. However, Tychus will be back in 5, Tetcher.
So there is Odin this time, but it's not being used as a loading tool. Here comes that Tychus. Grenade for CC. Looks like he's going to try and shred it, not even transform because he has no time and no damage because he's in the cocoon. That's going to be GG. And the one take the 2-0.
The one going 2-0 over Beyond the Game. Well done. Not only are they wearing dope hoodies, they also look very dope in-game because that was just picture-perfect play overall. They showed good macro. They showed even better team fights, and especially Falstad once again continues to be such an impactful hero in HGC China.
Yeah, he really was, and despite the one misplay, that gust to block the mosh pit right at the end was exactly what the one needed, and as such,
it was golden.
Take it, even though BTG from